18 Ancient Stories, Timeless Wisdom for Modern Life. Throughout history, the teachings of the ancients, distilled from their life experiences, have served as guiding principles for generations. In today's video, we will explore 18 profound stories from ancient times, each carrying a deep lesson in wisdom. These stories not only illuminate valuable life principles, but also provide guidance on how to navigate relationships, conduct oneself wisely, and find peace in the complexities of modern life. Join us on this journey to uncover timeless insights and discover how these lessons can inspire you to live with greater understanding, purpose, and harmony. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more meaningful content like this. Story 1: Attitude Matters More Than Skills. Van, a beautiful and capable young woman, had been working at her company for 3 years. Despite her experience, colleagues who joined after her were being promoted while she remained stuck in the same position. Feeling frustrated and unfairly treated, Van eventually faced the possibility of being laid off. She decided to confront her boss. "Sir, have I ever been late, left early, or violated company policies?" Her boss responded, "No, you haven't." "Then, is the company biased against me?" she pressed further. Her boss paused briefly before replying, "Certainly not." "Then why are less experienced people being promoted while I'm overlooked?" Smiling, her boss said, "We'll discuss your case later. For now, I have an important task that needs handling. Can you assist me with it?" He asked her to contact a client and confirm when they would be arriving to inspect their products. Reluctantly, Van agreed. 15 minutes later, she returned. "Sir, they said they might come next week." "What specific day?" he asked. "I didn't ask." "How many people will be visiting?" "You didn't tell me to ask that." "Are they traveling by train or plane?" "You didn't mention that either." Without saying more, the boss called Knock, an employee who had joined the company a year after Van and was now a department head, to handle the same task. Within 15 minutes, Knock returned with a comprehensive report. "Sir, they will take a flight at 3 p.m. next Friday and are expected to arrive at 6 p.m. There will be 5 people in the delegation, led by their materials director. I've suggested we send someone to greet them at the airport. They plan to conduct inspections over 2 days, and I propose booking rooms at a nearby international hotel. If you approve, I'll confirm the reservations tomorrow. Also, since rain is expected next week, I'll stay in close contact to adjust plans if needed." Van stood by, her face flushed with embarrassment. That evening, she received an email from her boss with a heartfelt message. Key principles for work. Work does not sustain idle individuals, and teams do not support the lazy. Don't just focus on earning money, strive to make yourself valuable. No field is easy to earn money in. Every workplace has challenges, pressure is normal. If you can't earn money, gain knowledge. If you can't gain knowledge, gain experience. If you can't gain experience, gain exposure. Once you've accumulated enough, money will come naturally. Only by changing your attitude can you change your position in work and society. The reason you feel stuck is because, during the years meant for striving, you thought too much and did too little. This story serves as a reminder that attitude matters more than skills. Outstanding employees don't passively wait for instructions, they proactively seek out tasks and complete them to the best of their abilities. Working with a positive mindset and a sense of responsibility will take you further in your career. Remember, your position tomorrow reflects what you do today. Story 2: Don't light someone else's lamp lightly. Respecting differences is the pinnacle of maturity. In life, there are people who see themselves as life experts, often intervening in how others should live. They suggest how you should invest, exercise, or even marry based on their own perspective of what's right. While their intentions may be good, their actions often cause discomfort and pressure. Writer Han Dong shared a story about his friend Lao Lu, who lived simply by renting out houses and crafting pottery. Recognizing Lao Lu's talent, Han encouraged him to turn his pottery skills into a business, promoting it online, hiring staff, and increasing his income. However, Lao Lu wasn't interested. He only wanted a peaceful life, dedicating himself to his pottery. Their difference in outlook eventually created a rift between them. Not all fish live in the same sea. What you consider good might be a burden for someone else. The lesson of respecting perspectives. Don't impose your views on others. Everyone has their own way of living, goals, and preferences. Imposing your perspective on someone not only offends them but can also damage the relationship. Listen and respect differences. A newlywed couple once argued over their differing tastes. The husband loved spicy food, while the wife couldn't eat it. Learning to compromise, the wife rinsed her vegetables to eat them plain, while the husband dipped his in spicy sauce. This adjustment deepened their understanding and harmony. Not every good intention is helpful. Good intentions, if misplaced, can become burdensome. At a class reunion, an old friend tried to persuade Eli to take a civil service exam, even though Eli was content with his current job. The well-meaning advice ended up making Eli uncomfortable and created an awkward atmosphere. Psychologist Vu Chi Hong remarked, "The least effective effort is trying to argue someone into changing. Arguing endlessly only deepens conflict. Instead of trying to change others, learn to listen and accept." Writer Liu Sihao once said, "A sign of poor character is a tendency to dictate how others should live." Respecting others' differences and choices is the best way to build enduring relationships. Don't light someone else's lamp lightly, because you are not living their life. True maturity comes from stepping back, understanding, and respecting differences. Respecting others' choices is the first step toward earning their respect. By learning to walk alongside others, complement their needs, and help them succeed, we can build relationships that are meaningful, lasting, and filled with happiness. Story 3: The Genius Boy and 9 Lotus Blossoms. Long ago, in a peaceful village, a boy named Kai was born under extraordinary circumstances. His mother, Hannah, had a dream one night of radiant light shining down from the heavens. Soon after, she became pregnant and gave birth to Kai. Strangely, the moment Kai was born, he took 9 steps, and with each step, a beautiful lotus blossom bloomed. Kai was unlike other children. He possessed an exceptional intelligence and a boundless curiosity about the world. As he grew, Kai would ask his mother and the village elders questions about the mysteries of life, but no one could answer him. Undeterred, Kai observed nature, pondered deeply, and sought answers on his own. When Kai turned 13, a scholar named Sora, renowned for his wisdom, noticed the boy's extraordinary talent. Sora advised Hannah to send Kai to study at the prestigious Lumina Academy, where the kingdom's greatest masters taught. Initially hesitant because of the distant and challenging journey, Hannah was eventually convinced by Sora's encouragement. At Lumina Academy, Kai thrived like a fish in water. He diligently studied a wide range of subjects, from astronomy and geography to history and philosophy. After 3 years, Kai not only mastered his studies but was also appointed as the librarian of the kingdom's largest library. Immersed in books, Kai delved deeply into the principles of nature and the wisdom of life. One day, Kai's teacher took him to the banks of a great river and imparted a valuable lesson. Learn from water. It is soft yet powerful, humble yet capable of greatness. If you live with humility and harmony with nature, you will attain endless wisdom and happiness." These words left an indelible mark on Kai's heart, becoming a guiding principle for his life. After years of study, Kai returned to his village, bringing with him knowledge and compassion. He helped the villagers, teaching them to live in harmony with nature. The boy whose steps once made lotus flowers bloom had now become a sage revered throughout the land. Kai's story is a reminder that wisdom, coupled with humility and kindness, can transform not only one's life but also the lives of others. Story 4: The Lesson from Two Crocodiles and the Power of Doing Nothing. One day, along a serene riverbank, an old crocodile floated lazily, enjoying the gentle current, when it was interrupted by an eager young crocodile. The young crocodile asked, "Can you teach me how to hunt effectively? I've heard you're the most renowned hunter in the area." The old crocodile opened its eyes briefly but said nothing and returned to its rest. Feeling ignored, the young crocodile grew frustrated and swam away angrily. Determined to prove itself, it hunted tirelessly and returned with 2 small fish, proudly flaunting its catch. However, the old crocodile remained indifferent, offering no response. Unwilling to give up, the young crocodile ventured out again and returned with a crane. This time, when it came back, it saw the old crocodile still in the same spot. But suddenly, right in front of its eyes, the old crocodile lunged out of the water and clamped down on a large antelope drinking at the riverbank. Astonished by the massive meal, the young crocodile asked, "How did you do that?" The old crocodile replied, "I did nothing. I simply waited patiently." This story teaches us a valuable lesson: being constantly busy does not always lead to the best results. In work and life, many people mistake busyness for productivity. We often throw ourselves into endless tasks and tightly packed schedules, only to miss out on greater opportunities. Success comes not only from hard work but also from knowing when to pause and reflect. The power of patience and strategic waiting often yields results far greater than constant effort without direction. You don't need to practice this rigidly. Instead, dedicate a week each year or a few hours each week to step away from work. Turn off your phone, laptop, and technology. Go for a walk, read a book, or simply relax. In these moments of stillness, you may be surprised at the creative ideas that emerge, just like the old crocodile waiting patiently for its antelope. Sometimes, achieving something great doesn't require relentless action. Learn to step back, free your mind, and wait for the right moment. Your success will come to you, just as it did for the old crocodile. Story 5: Betrayal and Broken Promises, A Rise to Power, Quickly Lost. During the Tang Dynasty, in the region of Bak Lang, there lived a county magistrate named Tuong. One day, while sitting alone, Tuong was approached by an elderly man requesting an audience. The old man claimed to communicate with the underworld and informed Tuong that a certain Fan Quan Vai Tu Muk would soon visit him. He advised Tuong to prepare incense and an altar while keeping the meeting a secret. When Fan Quan Vai Tu Muk arrived, he expressed his wish for Tuong to protect his son, Vai Van Khan, who was under investigation for embezzlement. Tuong agreed to help. However, upon receiving a higher appointment, Tuong grew arrogant and broke his promise. Instead of shielding Vai Van Khan, he prosecuted him, leading to Vai Van Khan's execution. Before his death, Vai Tu Muk appeared to his son in a vision, declaring that Tuong's betrayal would doom his family to ruin. After Vai Van Khan's death, Tuong's career continued to rise. But as he gained power, he indulged in pleasures and neglected his duties. He became infatuated with a courtesan named Kim Kyu, entrusting her with his wealth while ignoring governance. However, Kim Kyu, consumed by jealousy, plotted against Tuong and poisoned him, causing his untimely death. His demise marked the rapid downfall of his family. Kim Kyu fled, while his concubines and associates abandoned him one by one. In the afterlife, Tuung's spirit confronted Kim Kyu, blaming her for his fate. Coldly, she retorted, "You deserve to die." This story serves as a profound reminder of the consequences of betrayal, broken promises, and unchecked ambition. Those who deceive even the gods and violate moral principles will ultimately face severe repercussions. As the saying goes, the net of heaven is vast, though its mesh is wide, nothing escapes. Betrayal and greed may offer temporary gains, but they inevitably lead to ruin. Story 6. There's only one disease in this world: poverty. Money is not everything, but life becomes incredibly difficult without it. As the writer Zhang Yiling once said, "I like money because I only know its advantages." While money cannot buy happiness, it often solves many of life's problems. When you lack money, you quickly see who treats you sincerely and who stays around only for personal gain. Relationships built on convenience often disappear when wealth fades. During tough times, you realize how few people are willing to help, and those you thought were close may choose to walk away. As the old saying goes, when you have money, even strangers will treat you like family. When you're poor, even family might keep their distance. In moments of hardship, you come to understand the true value of relationships. Many are happy to share your joys, but few are willing to share your struggles. Even those who once celebrated with you may turn cold and distant. The pain of seeing loved ones suffer while being powerless to help is indescribable. In the movie Dying to Survive, a poignant line captures this sentiment: "There's only one disease in this world: poverty." Indeed, without money, even basic responsibilities like caring for family and providing a peaceful, happy life become luxuries. When you're poor, you don't just face social disdain, you also lose the courage to face life. You find yourself helpless in countless situations, afraid to fall ill, afraid to lose your job, and afraid to spend a penny unnecessarily. Life becomes a continuous cycle of tension and worry. Poverty teaches you to value those who treat you well during hard times. When you overcome financial struggles, remember to express gratitude to those who stood by you. Don't forget those who hurt or criticized you during your struggles. Let their actions fuel your determination to rise above adversity. Money is not everything, but it is indispensable. Use your experiences of hardship to build a life of stability, not just for yourself, but also for the people you love. Story 7. The Consequences of Slander, a Lesson About Words. During the time of Gautama Buddha, a wealthy man lived happily with his virtuous wife and only son. However, tragedy struck when the boy was born with a severe illness, his skin covered with painful boils that caused him to cry incessantly, disturbing the entire village. One day, a neighbor suggested that the family take the boy to Jetavana Monastery to meet the Buddha, the great healer, who could cure any ailment. Upon meeting the Buddha, the boy felt an immediate sense of relief and repentance for his past misdeeds. Miraculously, the boils that had plagued him for 10 years disappeared. The boy later became a monk and eventually attained the state of Arhat. When the monks asked about the boy's karmic history, the Buddha explained, "Countless lifetimes ago, in the city of Benares, this boy was a wealthy merchant who slandered a rival before the king, leading to the rival's cruel torture. Because of this malicious act, he endured the painful retribution in this life. However, through sincere repentance and taking refuge in the Triple Gem, he was liberated from his suffering." The Buddha taught, words carry immense power. They can create blessings or generate karma. Slandering, lying, or defaming others, especially those who are virtuous or practicing the path, leads to painful consequences, even hellish torment. In the modern era, a single slanderous remark online can destroy a person's reputation and cause irreparable harm. Therefore, one must be mindful of their words, uphold moral discipline, and discern right from wrong to avoid unintentionally creating bad karma. The lesson learned is, do not lie or slander to avoid sowing bad karma. Always repent if you have made mistakes, as sincere remorse can help dissolve karmic consequences. Be cautious with your words, especially in the era of social media, to protect yourself and others. Story 8: The Mysterious Visitor and the 9 Chests of Mirrors. One night, in the grand estate of the Lin family, a mysterious elderly man with an aura of authority arrived. The master of the house, Lin Tam Nan, had been deeply affected by recent misfortunes, leaving him in a state of despair and madness. His erratic behavior, alternating between lucidity and delusion, worried his entire household. Despite consulting numerous physicians, his condition showed no improvement. The old man quietly entered Lin Tam Nan's chamber, where he sat in a daze. With a wave of his hand, the old man instantly brought Lin Tam Nan back to his senses. Smirking, the elder said, "Do you intend to live in this madness forever? I have brought 9 chests of mirrors here. Open them all, and your troubles will vanish." Filled with a mix of anxiety and curiosity, Lin Tam Nan asked, "What do these chests contain that could change my life?" Trembling, he reached for the first chest. The 9 Chests of Mirrors. Chest 1, the Distinguished Scholar. Inside, an image of an eminent scholar appeared. "This is your past life," the old man explained, a celebrated cultural figure, revered by all. Amazed, Lin Tam Nan admired the reflection, awestruck by his illustrious past identity. Chest 2, the Ordinary Official. The second chest revealed an image of a modest county official. "This is another life of yours, not as glorious, but one that left behind a respectable legacy," the old man explained. Lin Tam Nan nodded in understanding, though his excitement began to wane. Chest 3, the Renowned Courtesan. The next chest left Lin Tam Nan stunned. It showed the image of a beautiful courtesan. "This was another of your lives," the old man continued, "when you lived as a celebrated courtesan in the capital." Furious, Lin Tam Nan exclaimed, "Why do my lives seem to deteriorate? Did I accumulate bad karma in my earlier lives?" Chest 4, the Destitute Beggar. The fourth chest shocked him even more, revealing an image of a tattered beggar. "What you see here is the result of the bad karma accumulated in your past lives. Cause and effect are unerring," the old man said sternly. Chest 5, the Ascetic Monk. Relieved, Lin Tam Nan opened the 5th chest to find himself as a humble monk in meditation. "This life was your attempt to atone for the karma of your previous lives," the old man explained. Chests 6 to 8, Fleeting Lives. The next 3 chests displayed short, uneventful lives, leaving no significant mark. Chest 9, the Present Life. The final chest showed his current life, reflecting the pain and despair he had endured. Lin Tam Nan saw clearly the root of his suffering, his losses, and the mistakes in his way of living. As dawn broke, Lin Tam Nan awoke, unsure if what he experienced was real or a dream. Regardless, he realized a profound truth: all suffering stems from cause and effect. Determined to change his life, he worked tirelessly. A year later, he passed the imperial exams with high honors, becoming a just and virtuous official, earning eternal respect. Though fictional, this story carries a powerful message: you reap what you sow. Our actions in this life create the causes and effects that shape our future lives. Living with kindness and integrity is the best way to cultivate happiness and prosperity for the future. Story 9, The Spoiled Son, Karma and Retribution. During the Yuan dynasty in Guangnan province, there was a magistrate named Tran Dayan. He became infatuated with the beautiful daughter of Lu Balok, a treasury official who was both wealthy and respected. Tran Dayan wanted to marry Lu Balok's daughter and seize his wealth, but his proposals were repeatedly declined. Unable to accept rejection, Tran Dayan devised a malicious scheme. He coerced a captured thief into falsely accusing Lu Balok of being his accomplice. Though innocent, Lu Balok was tortured with boiling oil until he confessed. Tran Dayan then seized the Lu family's wealth and forced their daughter to marry him. Years later, Tran Dayan and the daughter's son grew into a spoiled, depraved man. He squandered the family's wealth and even resorted to threatening his father with a knife to fulfill his desires. In despair, Tran Dayan visited Tin Tu Temple and asked the monk Tian Fuang why he had such a terrible son. While boiling water, the monk replied, "If you cannot bear boiling water, why did you think others could endure the boiling oil you used to torture them? Everything you suffer now is the karmic retribution for your past actions." The monk recited a verse. 18 years ago, fortune was on your side, yet you slandered the innocent. Sowing evil deeds, heaven punished your family. Now the cycle of cause and effect unfolds. Your liver and lungs decay as karma takes its toll. Soon after, Tran Dayan developed a gruesome illness that caused his organs to rot painfully. He died in misery, his body abandoned by his son, who left it to decay. Not long after, the son also met a premature death. Another story: during the Qing dynasty near Beijing, there was a merchant named Zhao Defuang who became wealthy through dishonest practices, such as using false weights. His actions caused the deaths of a cotton seller and a medicine trader. Later in life, Zhao repented and resolved to do good. Despite his efforts, his family suffered constant misfortune. His 3 sons died one after another. One day, a traveling monk visited and explained, "Your 3 sons were the spirits of those you wronged in past lives, returning to subtle karmic debts with you. However, because of your repentance and virtuous deeds, heaven has reclaimed them. The grandson you now have is a reward for the merit you've accumulated." The monk added, "Your false scales caused immense karmic consequences. Always remember, good and evil inevitably bear fruit, sooner or later." From that point on, Zhao Defuang dedicated himself to good deeds and raised his grandson to be a virtuous and productive member of society. These stories highlight the immutable law of karma: you reap what you sow. Acts of deceit and harm may bring temporary gains, but result in eventual suffering. Conversely, sincere repentance and virtuous deeds can transform one's destiny. Choose to live righteously, for your actions today not only shape your fate, but also influence the lives of those who come after you. Story 10: The Fate of Deceivers, Karma Never Fails. Part 1: The Dishonest Cloth Merchant. During the Xuanji era of the Qing dynasty, in Jiangxi province, there was a cloth merchant named No Tram that. Greedy and deceitful, he often used high-quality fabric as a sample to gain customers' trust, only to switch it for inferior material after making a sale. One day, a Western trader came to purchase fabric after hearing complaints from his friend about being cheated by No. The trader, cautious, sat on the roll of fabric he selected to prevent any exchange. However, No slyly used a distraction, forcing the trader to stand and greet him, during which he switched the fabric. Returning home, the trader realized he had been tricked again. Overcome with shame and anger at his gullibility, he hanged himself in despair. Years later, No Tram that fell gravely ill. He was tormented by nightmares of being punished by demons, who weighed him on a hook pierced through his back. His body bore red marks resembling burns, and his agony was so intense he wished for death. Eventually, he passed away in excruciating pain, facing the karmic retribution for his deceitful acts. Part 2: The Old Seamstress and Two Greedy Men. Heaven Sees All. During the Qing dynasty, an elderly woman worked tirelessly as a seamstress, saving money for her son's wedding. One day, she entrusted several silver taels to an acquaintance named Jayap for safekeeping. However, when she returned to retrieve the money, Jayap denied ever receiving it, swearing he was innocent. In the ensuing argument, a neighbor named Et, who had witnessed the transaction, falsely claimed ignorance. Devastated by their betrayal, the elderly woman hanged herself. Her grieving son buried her, but that night, he dreamed of his mother telling him that heaven would deliver justice. The next day, as he approached a Taoist temple, dark clouds suddenly gathered, and lightning struck Jayap and Et, leaving them prostrate. Et survived the strike and confessed everything. Jayap had split the stolen silver with him. Both men, however, suffered divine retribution. The stolen silver was returned to the son, who used it to perform rituals for his mother. Et, now crippled, lived the rest of his life burdened by guilt and regret. The universal law of karma. These stories illustrate that karma operates not only through actions but also begins in thoughts. Like the principle of action and reaction, the consequences of wrongdoing will inevitably return, sooner or later. Heaven misses no one. The greedy and deceitful will ultimately face their punishment, while those who live honestly and virtuously will be protected and rewarded. Story 11: Lee Van Kiet and the Lesson of Self-Reliance at His Final Moments. Lee Van Kiet, also known as Hao Nin, was a renowned official during the Ming Dynasty, hailing from Nanjing. A man of exceptional talent, he was celebrated for his poetry, painting, and calligraphy, earning the title of the Three Perfections. Throughout his career, Lee Van Kiet was known for his integrity and compassion for the people. During a severe drought, he gave away his salary and opened the granary to save countless lives, leaving behind a legacy of kindness and honor. Beyond his official duties, Lee Van Kiet was also a remarkable educator, instilling self-reliance and resilience in his children and guiding them to become capable and virtuous individuals. As Lee Van Kiet lay on his deathbed, his family was overcome with grief. Yet, he remained lucid and composed. His eldest son knelt beside him and asked, "Father, do you have any final wishes?" Lee Van Kiet replied, "I wish to eat a mantu, steamed bun, made by your hands." The request left the son no choice but to fulfill it. He hurried to the kitchen and clumsily tried to make the bun. However, being more accustomed to holding a brush in the study than working in the kitchen, he struggled. Despite multiple attempts, he failed to make a proper bun. On his deathbed, Lee Van Kiet waited patiently, but he could not hold on long enough to taste the bun. He passed away before his son succeeded. The son was devastated, weeping bitterly with regret for never learning such simple tasks that could have fulfilled his father's final wish. After the funeral, as the son prepared his father's burial clothes, he discovered a note under the pillow. On it were written the words, "Do not rely on your ancestors, rely on yourself." Seeing his father's final words, the son was deeply moved. He carried the lesson throughout his life. Only through self-reliance and self-determination could one find the right path. Lee Van Kiet, even in his final moments, wished to impart the importance of independence to his children. He knew that relying on others could never compare to standing on one's own feet. This profound teaching became the foundation for his descendants, guiding them to lead self-reliant lives. Thanks to this lesson, Lee Van Kiet's descendants lived with dignity, independence, and strength. They excelled in academics, research, and self-development, leaving an honorable legacy for their family. Self-reliance is the key to rising in life. No matter the circumstances, depending on oneself is always the best path forward. Story 12: Faith, Truth, and the Purity of the Soul. Long ago, in the Huai River region of central China, there lived a girl named Lam Tien Nu. At birth, she bore a mysterious symbol resembling the character Van on her right palm, a mark symbolizing purity. Her parents believed it signified an extraordinary destiny and named her Tien Nu, meaning as virtuous as heaven. However, life unfolded cruelly. Tien Nu was deceived and sold into a brothel. Living amidst filth and despair, she felt repulsed and hopeless. Each time someone touched her, she punished herself, trying to erase the sense of defilement. Though she yearned for an end to her suffering, she lacked the courage to take her own life. Seeking solace, every night before sleep, Tien Nu would sit upright and write the characters for Buddha and Van over 100 times. This practice calmed her pain and served as a prayer for liberation from her misery. One night, Tien Nu dreamt of the brothel engulfed in flames. Awakening with a premonition, she warned others to prepare for disaster. Her warnings were met with mockery. As predicted, a great fire consumed the brothel. Having prepared for the worst, Tien Nu fled with her belongings, traveling for days until she reached a distant riverside. There, she heard the soothing sound of temple bells. The sight of nuns washing robes by the water brought her an inexplicable sense of peace. She sought refuge at the temple and asked to renounce the secular world. Though she left behind the tainted past and devoted herself to spiritual practice, the memories of the brothel haunted her. She felt unworthy of reciting Buddhist scriptures or walking the sacred path, burdened by shame and regret. Strangely, whenever Tien Nu climbed the mountain to fetch water, a fierce storm would erupt, bringing heavy rain and hail for exactly 3 hours. Her body would be soaked and bruised, yet she endured without complaint. The temple's residents gossiped about her, believing she bore heavy karma and was unfit for the monastic life. Despite this, Tien Nu remained steadfast. She accepted her suffering as a means of purification, viewing each trial as a way to cleanse her body and soul, striving for true purity. One day, during a storm, an artist passing through the mountain glimpsed Tien Nu from afar. To him, she was no ordinary nun but a living embodiment of divinity. She appeared as a bodhisattva standing atop a lotus pedestal, holding a vase of pure water and a willow branch, surrounded by radiant light. Overwhelmed by her divine presence, the artist painted what he had seen and named the piece Tin Tui, pure water. He also composed a poem to honor Tien Nu. Suffering within suffering, gold and jade shine. A vase of pure water cleanses the mortal body. Destiny shatters the chains of worldly delusion. Revere the Buddha for eternity, a pure heart unfaltering. Tien Nu's story is a testament to the power of faith and truth. Through steadfast determination, patience, and an untainted soul, she overcame immense suffering. Her pain was not a curse, but a means of washing away the stains on her spirit, guiding her toward purity and nobility. When one lives with faith and righteous ideals, they gain the strength to endure and transcend hardships. Maintaining a pure heart, free from greed and resentment, is the key to elevating one's spiritual worth and leading a meaningful, virtuous life. Story 13: The Minor Official and Tran Du's Lesson in Patience. During the Warring States period, after the powerful Qing kingdom defeated Wei, Qin Shi Huang heard of two renowned intellectuals from Wei, Zhang Yi and Tran Du, to recruit such talents. The king generously rewarded them. Zhang Yi received 1,000 taels of gold, while Tran Du was given 500 taels. After accepting the rewards, both men decided to leave their homeland to avoid being entangled in political disputes. They sought refuge in Qin County, living modestly as gatekeepers for a noble household. Despite their brilliance, they chose to conceal their talents, waiting for the right moment to realize their ambitions. One day, Tran Du was falsely accused and publicly beaten by a local magistrate. The unexpected humiliation filled him with rage, and he prepared to retaliate. At that moment, Zhang Yi, his companion and close friend, discreetly kicked his foot, signaling him to remain calm. Overwhelmed with shame, Tran Du endured the injustice in silence. After the magistrate left, Zhang Yi pulled him aside under a tree and spoke sternly. "Tran Du, you've always said you aspire to achieve greatness. Yet today, you couldn't tolerate a minor humiliation and wanted to retaliate. How will you handle the greater challenges ahead? Do you plan to throw your life away over a petty official?" Ashamed and reflective, Tran Du realized the wisdom in Zhang Yi's words. He understood that patience and restraint were essential to preserving oneself and waiting for the right opportunity to fulfill one's ambitions. With time, Tran Du and Zhang Yi gradually revealed their talents, rising in the treacherous world of politics. Through their intellect, patience, and perseverance, both achieved prominent positions. Zhang Yi became a senior minister, while Tran Du ascended to the role of prime minister, contributing significantly to the prosperity of the court. If Tran Du had not exercised patience on that fateful day, his life might have taken a different turn. A moment of recklessness could have led to unnecessary conflict or even his death. His ability to endure humiliation and remain focused on his greater goals allowed him to achieve a brilliant and fulfilling life. Patience is not cowardice, it is a demonstration of wisdom and resilience. Sometimes, enduring injustice is the best way to protect oneself and lay the groundwork for future success. Remember, endure for a moment, and the waves subside. Step back, and the seas and skies expand. Tran Du's journey exemplifies the value of patience, perseverance, and foresight. These qualities not only help individuals overcome adversity but also propel them toward achieving the heights they once dreamed of. Story 14: Selfishness leads to emptiness. Gain and loss in life are not always within human control. What we try to possess may slip away, while selflessness and generosity can unexpectedly bring blessings. The following story from the Song Dynasty offers profound insight into this lesson. During the Song Dynasty, there was a virtuous and upright official named Li Si-han, renowned for his integrity and disregard for material wealth. He was once assigned a diplomatic mission to Korea, accompanied by a military officer named Du Won as his assistant. The mission was successful, and as customary, the Korean hosts presented the delegation with many valuable gifts. Li Si-han, uninterested in these treasures, entrusted their management entirely to Du Won. In stark contrast, Du Won valued these gifts greatly, meticulously categorizing and keeping them for himself. He regarded them as precious assets and took great care to safeguard them. On their journey back, the delegation sailed through a vast ocean. Suddenly, a fierce storm arose, with roaring waves threatening to capsize the ship and endanger everyone's lives. The captain, in a panic, declared, "The ship is too heavy. If we don't lighten the load, we'll all perish." In the face of danger, Du Won immediately ordered the disposal of cargo to reduce the ship's weight. He hurriedly threw item after item overboard without hesitation. Eventually, the storm subsided and the ship regained stability. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, grateful to have narrowly escaped death. When they assessed the remaining goods, Du Won was horrified to discover that everything thrown overboard had belonged to him. Meanwhile, the gifts for Li Si-han, which had been stored at the bottom of the ship without much concern, were completely intact. They were only slightly wet, with no significant damage. This stark contrast astonished everyone on board. The captain remarked, "Truly, Heaven has eyes. A selfless man like Li Si Han, who cares nothing for wealth, loses nothing. But a man as greedy as Du An, who hoards everything for himself, ends up with nothing at all. This story emphasizes that what we achieve in life depends not only on effort, but also on how we treat others. Those who live generously and selflessly are often rewarded by fate. Conversely, those who focus solely on themselves frequently invite loss. Generosity, humility, and selflessness are virtues that pave the way for blessings and protection. In contrast, greed and selfishness can lead to emptiness, leaving us with nothing but regret. Story 15: Levels of Awareness and Thought in Life. In life, those at lower levels of awareness often cannot comprehend the thoughts and actions of those at higher levels. This story, from the Warring States period, highlights the philosophical differences between two renowned thinkers, Tran Tu and Hao Tu. Tran Tu, 365 to 290 BCE, whose real name was Tran Men, was a brilliant Taoist philosopher and a successor to Laozi's teachings. His deep philosophical works are closely associated with his pseudonym, Tran Tuesday Hao Tu, 370 to 310 BCE, on the other hand, was a renowned philosopher from the school of names, Mingjia. He served as the prime minister of Wei and was famed for his sharp wit and debate skills. The two were close friends, often engaging in debates about life's philosophies. After Hao Tu passed away, Tran Tu stood before his grave and said, "From now on, I have no one to discuss and debate with." This revealed the deep bond they shared as both confidants and intellectual rivals. Once, Hao Tu heard a rumor that Tran Tu had come to Wei to compete for the position of prime minister. Influenced by malicious gossip, Hao Tu ordered his soldiers to apprehend Tran Tuesday. For 3 days, the soldiers searched in vain. On the 4th day, Tran Tu appeared before Hao Tu and shared this story. In the southern lands, there is a bird called Yuan So, often regarded as a phoenix. This bird only perches on parasol trees, eats bamboo fruits, and drinks pure spring water. One day, as the Yuan So flew by, an owl screeched at it, fearing the Yuan So had come to snatch the dead mouse it had just found. "Now, you too use your authority to intimidate me, much like that owl." Tran Tu likened himself to the Yuan So, illustrating that his aspirations and mindset were far removed from the mundane pursuits of wealth and power. His thoughts were free, transcended, and detached from worldly desires. Hao Tu, despite his brilliance, was still ensnared by the trappings of fame and fortune, much like the owl clutching a dead mouse. This story highlights the divide between different levels of thought and awareness in life. Those at lower levels often project their own insecurities onto others, unable to understand the motivations of individuals who have transcended material concerns. People like Tran Tu, who follow the path of spiritual freedom, aim for a higher state of being, beyond the allure of status and wealth. Hao Tu, though exceptionally talented, remained tethered to the chains of power and prestige. He was akin to a man clinging to a heavy stone while jumping into the sea. If only he had let go, he could have risen to the surface, free to swim in the vast, open ocean. When unburdened by worldly desires, even the owl can transform into the majestic Yuan So, soaring through the skies, unbound by earthly constraints. True freedom of the soul and mind does not stem from fame or authority, but from releasing attachments and striving for higher values. Always ask yourself, what level of awareness am I living in, and am I ready to transcend it to attain true freedom? Story 16: The Three Greatest Fears. In the three-character classic, Tam Tu Kien, there is a famous story about Chu Su, offering profound lessons on self-awareness and the courage to correct one's mistakes. During the Jin Dynasty, in a small village in Yixian County, China, there lived a young man named Chu Su. Orphaned at a young age, Chu Su grew up strong and fearless. However, lacking proper guidance, he became arrogant and unruly, often relying on his strength to bully others. Over time, his reckless behavior caused the villagers to avoid him. To them, Chu Su was nothing short of a menace. One day, after drinking heavily with his friends and refusing to pay the bill, Chu Su stormed out of a tavern. The owner fumed but dared not protest. On the way, Chu Su noticed a crowd gathered in serious discussion. When he approached, the villagers scattered in fear. Angered, Chu Su grabbed the slowest elder and demanded, "What were you all talking about?" The elder, trembling, replied, "For years, our village has suffered from 3 calamities. The fierce tiger in Nam Sun Mountain that preys on travelers. The dragon at Truong Kyo Bridge that drags people into the river. And a 3rd calamity that I dare not name." Upon hearing this, Chu Su boasted loudly, "A tiger? A dragon? I'll destroy them both." True to his word, Chu Su climbed Nam Sun Mountain to confront the tiger. After a fierce battle, he killed the beast with a single powerful blow. A few days later, he dove into the waters near Truong Kyo Bridge to fight the dragon. For 3 days and nights, the battle raged. Eventually, the dragon's lifeless body floated to the surface. Yet Chu Su was nowhere to be seen, with only one of his shoes drifting on the river. The villagers cheered. "The dragon is dead. The tiger is gone. And Chu Su is no more. The 3 calamities have all been vanquished." However, not long after, Chu Su emerged from the river and overheard the villagers' celebration. In that moment, he realized the painful truth: the 3rd calamity was himself. Overwhelmed with shame, Chu Su reflected deeply on his actions. Determined to change, he sought out Lu Van, a renowned scholar, to learn the principles of righteous living. From then on, Chu Su devoted himself to study and self-improvement. He transformed his life, eventually becoming a just and compassionate official. Loved and respected by all, Chu Su became a living testament to the power of acknowledging and rectifying one's mistakes. In life, mistakes are not what we should fear. The true dangers are: 1. Being unaware of our wrongdoings. 2. Knowing our mistakes but refusing to correct them. As the saying goes, the greatest courage is to recognize one's faults and make amends. Mistakes are not the end, they are opportunities for growth. Facing criticism, judgment, and damaged pride requires immense bravery. However, overcoming these challenges reflects the character of a truly honorable and admirable person. Those who dare to acknowledge and correct their faults not only elevate themselves. Story 17, Transforming Through Virtue is More Powerful Than Punishment. Liang Kai, a renowned educator during the Eastern Han Dynasty, was celebrated for his compassion and virtuous character. Born in Yangtze, modern-day Shanxi Province, Liang Kai earned widespread respect for his moral integrity and filial piety. He studied under the esteemed Chen Li and associated with notable scholars like Sun Jian, Jia Yun, and Li Yong. His noble character drew admiration, and many sought him out as a teacher. After completing his studies, Liang Kai returned to his hometown to establish a school. He devoted himself to educating others, encouraging them to live virtuously and avoid wrongdoing. One day, a cattle thief was caught and begged the owner, "Please take me to the authorities for punishment, but do not let Liang Kai find out." When told about the incident, Liang Kai did not punish the thief. Instead, he sent fabric as a gift to the man, leaving everyone puzzled. When asked why, Liang Kai explained, "A person who feels ashamed of their actions has the potential to change. I wanted to encourage him to turn over a new leaf." Indeed, the thief soon found a precious sword that an elderly man had lost. He waited all day to return it to its owner. From that moment on, he completely reformed, becoming an honest and respected member of the community. Under Liang Kai's influence, the village grew harmonious. When disputes arose, people sought his mediation. His fairness and virtuous example inspired many to reconcile their differences before even reaching his house. Liang Kai's reputation spread far and wide. The imperial court repeatedly invited him to serve as an official, but he consistently declined, preferring a life of simplicity and dedication to education. During a time of unrest, Liang Kai sought refuge in Liaodong, where he worked to educate the local population. Through his guidance, they abandoned violent ways, learned to respect one another, and embraced peace. The once turbulent region became prosperous and harmonious. Even Cao Cao, the powerful warlord, heard of Liang Kai's fame and sent envoys to invite him to court. True to his principles, Liang Kai refused, upholding his ideals of virtue and humility throughout his life. Liang Kai's teachings embody the truth that laws and punishments compel obedience out of fear, but virtue and moral example inspire genuine transformation. Virtue is the greatest power, surpassing all forms of authority and coercion. It is the foundation of character, the truth of the universe, and the ultimate refuge for the human soul. The story of Liang Kai reminds us that leading by example and fostering understanding are far more effective than imposing fear or control. True change begins with the heart, and virtue is the key to unlocking humanity's highest potential. Story 18, The Lesson of Karma. Long ago, in the kingdom of Dai Liang, there was a high-ranking minister named Li Chang. He was wealthy and powerful, possessing countless assets and immense influence. However, one day, Li Chang realized the futility of fame and fortune and decided to renounce everything to pursue a spiritual path and seek the truth of life. At that time, a renowned monk named Venerable Shan Ming, a disciple of the Buddha, used his divine vision to observe that Li Chang was ready for enlightenment. The next day, Shan Ming visited Li Chang's residence, carrying his alms bowl. Li Chang respectfully invited him in, served a vegetarian meal, and attentively listened to his teachings about the truth of life. Deeply moved, Li Chang decided to entrust all his wealth to his younger brother, Li De, and renounced everything to become a monk. However, Li De was dissatisfied with this decision. Fearing that one day Li Chang might return to lay life and reclaim his wealth, Li De hired an assassin for 500 taels of gold to kill his brother. The assassin quickly located the mountain where Li Chang was practicing asceticism. Confronted with danger, Li Chang calmly asked, "I have no possessions left. Why do you want to kill me?" The assassin replied, "Your younger brother hired me to do this." Li Chang sighed and said, "Please allow me some time to meet an enlightened master and deepen my understanding of the Buddha's teachings. Then, you can take my life." The assassin refused outright. Finally, Li Chang pleaded, "If that's the case, cut off one of my hands. At least let me continue my practice." The assassin agreed, severed Li Chang's hand, and left. Despite the immense pain, Li Chang persevered and sought refuge with the Buddha to attain enlightenment. When Li Chang met the Buddha, he received compassionate guidance. The Buddha revealed that the suffering Li Chang faced in this life was karmic retribution for harmful actions he had committed in a past life. In a previous incarnation, Li Chang had been a king of a prosperous kingdom. During a hunt, he encountered a sage who had a severe injury to his arm. Unable to lift his arm, the sage pointed the way with his foot. The king, offended by what he perceived as disrespect, in anger severed the sage's hand. The king later deeply regretted his actions. He sincerely repented, built a stupa to honor the sage, and made generous offerings to atone for his sin. The Buddha explained that Li Cheng was the reincarnation of that king. Because of the act of severing the sage's hand, he had to endure losing his own hand across multiple lifetimes. However, his genuine repentance spared him from falling into hell and allowed him to encounter the Buddha's teachings, ultimately leading to his enlightenment. Karma is immutable. Every action taken today plants the seeds for tomorrow's consequences. Wealth and power, no matter how vast, will fade over time. Only virtuous living and spiritual practice can bring eternal peace and fulfillment to the soul. Thank you for taking the time to explore this story. If you found it meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring lessons. See you in the next video.